Well, we undid it. That's okay. It's not. Didn't hurt nothing. Here, hold that. Hold that. Hold the block. And then we'll get these through here. We're going to make this, guys. That's the first time I've ever dropped the blocks in the middle of a trick. That's nothing. All is well. All right. The problem that it sets up, hold that securely. Don't let that fall off right now, is that sin is what is keeping God and man from getting to get together. Just like Matt was saying this morning, sin is the problem that keeps God and man apart. But God provided for that sin. Would you take one rope in each hand? You have two hands, there's two ropes, one rope in each hand. And if you would take one rope in each hand over here, you have two hands, there's two ropes. Just take the ropes. I'll take care of this. One in each hand, like he's got there. There you go. Now, God provided a way, and all I have is a blue bandana, but God provided a way for sin to be taken care of. We didn't provide it. He provided his son Jesus, who paid the price, who covered our sin so that we could have that relationship with him. Would the two of you pull very stoutly that direction? Would you pull that way and would you pull this way? Pull. Grab tight and pull, because it's going to take some pulling. Pull hard. Pull that way. No, two, yeah, there, pull. Da-da-da-da-da. That's right. God provided, through Jesus, God provided a way to remove the sin so that God and man could have a relationship together. And this is my favorite part of this, is I am able, He cast the sin away. I'm going to add that to the trick. I hadn't done that before. Just kick it. He cast it away. And this is my favorite part. What I have just done is a simple magic trick. But the miracle is that God loved us so much that he gave his son to die for us so that our sins could be removed and we could have a relationship with God himself. And that is a true miracle. And that is what I like to tell to the kids in Guatemala. And it was a great opportunity. Thanks, guys. Y'all give them a hand. They did a great job. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I've never kicked the block. That's good. What's next?
All right. I guess I'm starting off. Charity, well, first of all, we're missing two people from our group. Jerry Birchfield, she's sick. We all kind of got sick while we were gone. And Judy Savage, she's in London. But they were a big help in the medical clinic. Charity and I were at the Vision team, and I did not know Charity till we went on the trip. Now we know each other pretty well. We had close to 500 people come through the clinic, and we had an auto refractor borrowed from RAM, and we were able to look in their eyes and get a gauge of faraway glasses and a lot of readers. We had some really high sugar, like 480, people with 480 sugar, so that made cataracts and eyes that much more of a problem trying to get straightened out. We had one bottle of eye drops left. People were really sick. We had a 91-year-old lady come through, a completely blind man, and also two kids that had crossed eyes, and we had like a big difference in the eyes, and just happened to look down and was like, well, let's try this, and the kid's eye almost immediately started to straighten up. So I encouraged his mother to have him wear the glasses that much more, so it'll straighten up more the more he wears the glasses. But and we were also charged with giving out dresses, the little dresses that they love. The girls and the mothers are really proud of the little dresses and gifts. So we were busy over in the medical clinic all day. What else do you have to add?
Handed out lots of toys. The kids loved the toys. Once they caught a glimpse of them, that's basically kind of had to hide the toys. Just like she said, it was crazy to see when their eyes were crossed, you put the glasses on them and it almost immediately would straighten up their eyes. Especially the little ones. It's just amazing. Their eyes would light up when you put glasses on them when they hadn't been able to see for so long. what a difference it made when they were able to read their Bible.
Judy and I worked in triage. We had first contact with the people as they come through. They told us we had about 472 that came through triage. We saw numerous complaints. We had a few high blood pressures, but amazingly, most of their blood pressures were in a fairly normal range. We had some high blood sugars. In fact, one of our cooks came up one day and she had a 404 blood sugar. Give her some medicines, dosed her, and the next day she come back, it was down to 256. And so before we left, we gave her a glucometer, some strips, and some Lancet, and instructed her how to keep a check on her blood sugar. Some of our major complaints was GI problems, respiratory problems, and joint pain. And we also had a lot of sick children that had fevers, and they said it was a flu that was going around through the school. Jerry worked with us as our scribe. She did a wonderful job keeping up with our blood pressures and getting them recorded and our complaints, our symptoms. And then whenever they finished in our station, they went over to see the Guatemalan doctors. And we worked with two very good Guatemalan doctors.
The way that our clinic is set up at the front end of the sanctuary, which their sanctuary, they have the plastic stacking chairs, and so they can take them all out and they can all be empty. They can fix it up however we want to do it. They had already set up the sanctuary to have 2 exam rooms, actually 3, because they thought that Meg would want an exam room for the glasses, but it gets hot in there, especially if they had 3 or 4 people in there at a time. So they actually set up outside of it and used the little room as their storage room for all the extra dresses and toys, which actually turned out to be a really good thing, because they couldn't see all the toys all the time, and so they weren't after them. But when you come in the front door, the church people had it set up to give them numbers, to give them time, so that we never had a group of people hanging out outside all the time waiting to get in. It was very orderly. They'd come in and sit in that area right there, and we had a waiting area, and they'd come to the back and wait and go. The translators would go over and get the basics, their name, age, stuff like that, and then they would come bring their sheet of paper over to Judy or Sharon and start that process of the triage. And then they'd go to the front of that section there and wait on the doctors to call them. Dr. Blanca is a doctor that was with us last year. She only does these clinics. She feels like it's her ministry. I hope we get her every year. She does speak English, so that helps us out a whole lot to be able to talk with her. And if she brings the second doctor she brings with her, which she brought 2 or 3 different people with her over the course of the week, if they don't speak much English, she's our translator with them, and that helps. Anyway, after they see the doctor, then they usually go to see Meg and Charity and see about getting some glasses. And while they're waiting then, after they get glasses, while they're getting glasses, they'll go ahead and bring their paperwork over to us where we can fill out the prescriptions. And then while they're waiting on their prescriptions, they go to Evangelism Circle. And I think you've seen, that's our pharmacy right there with Hope in the middle. Haley on your right there, and I'll be on your, yeah. She's one of our college students, and Jerry was doing it then for a few minutes. Whenever we got kind of stacked up, somebody would come over, jump in, and help us start writing labels. We had 3 or 4 college students from the States. Melissa is a girl she was with us last year for a little while. She's going to med school this fall. She's from Greenville, Tennessee. We had Haley and Chad, which they're from a church in Tampa. Their church works with one of our churches that we went to the first year, and they work with them on a regular basis. But these college students, they come up down to Guatemala and work with the E3 program with Gary for usually 4 to 6 weeks and go around just to help translate some. They all have a little bit of translation ability. They get better as each year goes by, and they're able to give us some help there. John is one of the other college students, and he was with us last year also, and he's from Selmer, Tennessee. I don't know if we got a whole lot of pictures of them in there, but anyway, they were very good help to us. We had then 7 or 8 translators from college students in Guatemala that are all working on their college degrees for interpretation purposes. Because there you see Sharon taking a blood pressure, and kind of wanted to see, yeah, there's Meg. They're across the way from Meg and Charity there. And then behind them, or there we are at the front of the sanctuary. Judy working with a young girl. It's hard for me to see from up here. Our waiting area. I wanted to point out that's Karen. Karen was our coordinator this year. I caught her with a little baby in her arms. She has been one of our interpreters for the last couple of years, and this year she jumped up to being a coordinator. We think a lot of Karen. She's just gotten real special to us. We hope to see her some more again. And there's John and Kevin. He was the assistant coordinator, and he was mostly Ben and John's interpreter for the evangelism time. Did a pretty good job too. I'll let them tell more about that. Who's next?
So this is what we normally did when we, before we sang, we would, what are we doing? Do you know what song do you want to do? What song do you want to do? I don't know.
Which one
Let's
are we
pick one.
doing?
Now, that was mostly because they would, and every year they do this to us, we'd sing like 1 or 2 songs, we'd have them ready, and then they're like, okay, come back up and sing some more. We're like, oh,
Come back up and do
no.
5 more songs.
What are we going to
Yeah.
sing? So, but they can't understand us, so it's okay.
All right. Yeah, that would be better. Can you see it?
You are my strength when I am weak. You are the treasure that I seek. You are my all in all. Seeking you as a precious jewel, but to give up I'd be a fool. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Taking my sin, my cross, my shame, rising again, I bless your name. You are my all in all. When I fall down, you pick me up. When I am dry, you fill my cup. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name.
DBN.
I'm just going to skip first.
Oh,
Okay, so we're going to talk about VBS now, but first, before we talk about kind of what we did every day, one of our translators, Kim, I got to room with her, and she has worked with other churches from the States before, and she had a really neat idea for a skit that we ended up doing, and it was perfect because it used no words, and because we are not good in Spanish. So, which it turned out to be great. We've kind of had to modify it a little bit for tonight because we had some of our college students with us in this skit, and they're not here now. And also Jerry helped us one time, and she's not here now. And also Kim was in the skit too. So the skit is called The Doctor. So, and I'm going to explain after the skit a little bit what we talked about with the kids with the skit. So it's really funny. I hope you guys enjoy it. We died every time we did that. There was also an extra one, but Ben told me I couldn't do it. So there was also another person who was sick, and she was screaming. But as you can tell, I mean, everybody loved it. It was great. But what we did with that was, and it also worked really well since we were doing a medical clinic. People come to a medical clinic because they are sick, and they need someone to help them, to heal them. And we are all sick with the same thing. We are sick with sin. And we all are in need of healing, and we are all in need of a Savior. And we come to a doctor. When you go to the clinic, you come to a doctor, and he gives you medicine. And in our skit, each person who was sick was ailing with something different. When they came in contact with the doctor, their sickness became his sickness, and he took their sickness from them. And just like we come to God with our sin, and he died for us on the cross, our sin became his sin, and he took that for us. And then one of the other college students that I think Leanne forgot to mention was we had a student named Michael there for a couple days. And I loved how Michael helped with the evangelism when he was there. And I loved how he explained it to the groups he was with. You know, when the doctor gives you medicine, if you take that medicine home and you just leave it there on the counter and you don't do anything with it, it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to help you. It's not going to heal you. You know, God's gift of salvation, we can hear of it, but it's up to us to what to do with that. We have to accept that gift of salvation. And so when Kim had showed me that skit, I was like, oh, we have to do this because it just ties in it is the gospel in skit form. So we wanted to show that to you because we had a great time. We have some pictures because we still have pictures that we haven't talked about yet. So this is Kim, the translator I was telling you about. This picture is special because this was at our VBS on Saturday. These 3 boys actually knew English, and we were so excited. Yes, they are actually from Louisiana, we found out. So the oldest one, his name was Lewis, the one on your right. The other 2 names escape me at the moment. But that was just a special connection that we made because Kim was like, Kayla, look, they speak English. So we were kind of excited. So let's talk about that one.
Okay, so this is the school that you guys have seen pictures of for 5 years now, which I think is super cool. Like, we're one of the only teams that goes to the same places every year, and that's something that's really unique and special for me anyway. Like, I've been there for 5 years. You know, Kayla's been there for 4, Sam's been there for 4, and we keep going. This is the one that we've talked about every year that they were, you know, the first time we went, that we weren't sure if they were going to let us come in. They were kind of harsh towards us. The teachers were very kind of standoffish. The students weren't really sure about us. And now we've gone and we've watched these kids grow up, and I told them, I was like, hey, you know, you guys have gotten a lot taller since we've been here. I haven't, but you have, so that's good. But, you know, we got to see these kids grow up, and this group is so just like open towards us. They love when we they know when we're coming, right? The teachers know when we're coming, and they get so excited because something new is happening. Like Kayla and I always tell them, you know, we're teachers. We know what it's like when new people are here. Like, you guys don't have to do work. Great. But to be able to have that relationship with them and go and play soccer and hear their stories and see how they change from year to year, it's such a unique and special thing that we get to do that every year. And I don't know, it really just like warms my heart that we always talk about the seeds that we plant, and we've gotten to watch those be planted every year, and some of them we've gotten to watch be harvested, and I think that's so cool that we got to see that. And something that Ben actually talked to the principal that was there, and he was one that we were not really sure at the beginning if he was going to let us come in, but he talked to us and said, you know, something that he would like to see is to be able to teach the Bible to these kids. And that's something that we can't, you know, really fathom here, but we can get that to them, and he can continue that. You know, that's something that he said, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to take what they learned with you guys and further that. And so maybe in the future we'll get to see those kids going to that church and being a part of that community. And I just really like that uniqueness and that specialness of that. So.
This is the same school, but in the morning. So it's one school building, but in the morning time, the younger kids go to school, and in the afternoon, it's only the older kids that go to school because there's not a large enough building to hold them all. So this was in the morning. We were only able to go to this school in the morning on Friday, but we had brought lots of school supplies for them. Last year, we had met several of the teachers there, and we had asked them about what kind of supplies they need, and paper was one that they said, and pencils, and so that's what we had brought. And so we were able to give them that on that day. But also, Sam has so Sam got to have a roadie on this trip.
I have made it now as a musician because I have my own roadie. I have a guy, see the fellow in the cowboy hat? He would not let me carry my guitar. He would carry it for me. Every time we got out of the van, he'd grab that guitar and would carry it up the hill for me and pick it up and take it and put it back in the van. So I have made it. I have a roadie.
That's because none of the rest of us would do it.
That's right. That's true.
This school was really special. So we got to go to this school for 2 days, and the name of this school is called Colmanus. And Kenny Lee, you can tell me, our translators told us that the word Colmanus in Spanish translates to hive. Yes. Okay. Cool. So we were able to go to this school, and the principal, she's there on your left, on your right.
Here.
Excuse me. You're right. That's the assistant principal, actually. But they were very grateful that we came, and we hope to go back there next year. And that is on the last day. They gave us a gift of honey because they're a hive. They gave us honey. So we thought that was really cool. And what? Oh, yeah. Casey left some of the honey there on accident.
Is there
Anyways.
Is there another picture?
There
That's
should
it?
be another picture. Oh, no.
There's another school we went to that this was amazing to me. We had to get a special letter signed to get in, and we pulled up and unloaded, and it was right down from the church. I mean, it wasn't just a few minutes down the hill. It was the closest to us of any of them almost, except for maybe Tapacoon. But it was very close to us, and we got down there, and we pulled up with all of our stuff, and we actually had a sound system this time. And
Our speaker.
and
Huge thing.
we were several of us standing outside, and the gate was locked, and they were letting other people in, but they didn't let us in right off the bat. And I thought, oh no, we're stuck, or something's gone wrong. Finally, they came and let us in and greeted us very, very nicely. And the whole school divided up into two groups because they couldn't get
Couldn't get all of them in the same
one spot, and they had this
courtyard
open area courtyard. And it was the younger kids first, and they were great, and we had a good time. And then we did work with the older ones. In total, we shared the gospel, and we were able to share the gospel pretty plainly, and well, extremely plainly and openly. But we shared the gospel with 590 kids
In that one school.
In that
Just
one
that
school.
one school.
590 kids. And it was amazing. It was a marvelous opportunity. And I'm hoping they invited us back. In fact,
did.
they told us that
The
next time we're here.
Yeah, the principal of that school said that they themselves encourage their students to go to church, and they encourage the parents to take their students to church, but they just don't. And it was refreshing for me as a teacher to see the administration of that school so invested in the kids and invested in their spiritual lives as well as their academic and social emotional lives, because we don't see that here a lot of the time. So that was really refreshing for me. So that's kind of what we did, and I think we have another song now.
Yep.
Yeah. You'll know this one, so please sing along.
Yes.
We did this one at the Tapacoon school in
Good.
the afternoon, and we told them it was a song from Tennessee. So
And that's the other thing that is fun, that we they want us to sing just like we kind of enjoy hearing them sing in Spanish. They enjoy hearing us sing in English.
And several times they have whatever song we do in Spanish there, the next year they learn it in English for us, and they will sing it in English for us, which touches our hearts beyond anything.
I want to see them do this one.
We haven't done it in Spanish, though.
Wandered so aimless, life filled with sin, I would have let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Just like a blind man, I wandered along. Worries and fears I claimed for my own. Then like the blind man that God gave back his sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I was a fool to wander and stray, for straight is the gate and narrow the way. Now I have traded the wrong for the right. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
Yep.
Well, a week ago tonight, I got to deliver the sermon. And I prayed about it and thought about it. What should I tell the people in Guatemala? And a certain verse came to mind, and so that's what I talked about. And it is, the question really is, what is the heart? First, we'll state the obvious. My sermon was not about the heart as a vital organ or the muscle that pumps the blood throughout the body. Neither was the sermon concerned with romantic and philosophical or literary definitions. Instead, I focused on what the Bible has to say about the heart. The Bible mentions the heart almost 1,000 times. In essence, this is what it says. The heart is that spiritual part of us where our emotions and desires dwell. Before we look at the human heart, I want to mention that since God has emotions and desires, He, too, can be said to have a heart. We have a heart because God does. David was a man, quote, after God's own heart. That's found in Acts. And God blesses His people with leaders who know and follow His heart. That's found in Samuel and Jeremiah. The human heart in its natural condition is evil, treacherous, deceitful. That is found in Jeremiah as well. The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? That's Jeremiah 17:9. In other words, the fall has affected us at the deepest level. Our mind, emotions, and desires have been tainted by sin. And we are blind to just how pervasive the problem really is. We may not understand our own hearts, but God does. He, quote, knows the secrets of the heart. It's found in Psalm 44:21. Jesus, quote, knew all men and had no need that anyone should testify of man, for He knew what was in man. That's found in John. Based on His knowledge of the heart, God can judge righteously. I, the Lord, search the heart. I test the mind, even to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his doings. That's also found in Jeremiah. Jesus pointed out the fallen condition of our hearts. Pointed it out in Mark 7:21 through 23. And it reads this way. From within, out of men's hearts come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and folly. All these evils come from inside and make a man unclean. Our biggest problem is not external, but internal. All of us have a heart problem. In order for a person to be saved, then, the heart must be changed, right? This only happens by the power of God in response to faith. With the heart one believes unto righteousness. It's found in Romans. In His grace, God can create a new heart within us. That's found in Psalms and Ezekiel. He promises to revive the heart of the contrite ones. It's found in Isaiah. God's work of creating a new heart within us involves testing our hearts and filling our hearts with new ideas, new wisdom, and new desires. The heart is the core of our being. And the Bible sets high importance on keeping our hearts pure. Above all else, guard your heart. This is found in Proverbs. For everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free of perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. My dad's favorite Bible verse was Matthew 5:8. It is inscribed on his tombstone. So I got to tell the story of Dad to just about everyone who came through the evangelism in the clinic. That Dad passed away 3 years ago, that he was a strong man and a Christian. That Dad tried to do a good deed, something nice, something unexpected for someone every single day. That is a person with a giving heart, a good heart, and I would suggest a pure heart. He was my mentor, and I miss him. But I am assured by the words of Jesus that I will see him again. And even in his last hours on this earth, that the last thing he said to me was, I want to see Jesus. That, my friends, is a pure heart. Matthew 5:8. To me, it's one of the most awesome verses in the Bible. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Can you imagine how awesome that is? Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Jesus spoke this during his Sermon on the Mount. It's recorded in our Bible in a section that we commonly refer to as the Beatitudes. So what did Jesus mean by a pure heart? I'm going to abbreviate this a little bit. I think our service that night ran about 2 hours. But we talked about what the Greek word for pure is and what the Greek word for heart is. And being pure in heart involves having a singleness of heart toward God. A pure heart has no hypocrisy, no guile, no cunning, no hidden motives. The pure heart is marked by transparency and an uncompromising desire to please God in all things. It is more than an eternal purity of behavior. It is an internal purity of our soul. The only way we can truly be pure in heart is to give our lives to Jesus. And we ask Jesus to do the cleansing work. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. That's found in Psalm 51:10. And at that point in the service last Sunday night, we sang a song that you have heard before, but we want to try it one more time tonight. Too heavy. Purify my heart. Touch me with your cleansing fire. Take me to the cross. Your holiness is my desire. Breathe your life in me. Kindle the love that flows from your throne. Oh, purify my heart. Purify my heart.
Purify my heart. Touch me with your cleansing fire. Take me to the cross. Your holiness is my desire.
Breathe your life in me. Kindle a love that flows from your throne.
Oh,
Purify my heart. Purify my heart.
purify my heart.
Purify my heart.
Touch me with your cleansing fire.
Your cleansing fire.
Take me to the cross.
Take me to the cross.
Your holiness is my desire.
Is my desire.
Breathe your life in me.
Breathe your life in me.
Kindle a love that
Flows from your throne. Oh, purify my heart. Purify my heart. Purify mi corazón. Being pure in our conduct also includes honesty and integrity in dealing with our fellow men. A Christian should be known in his neighborhood or place of business as an honest person, a person who can be trusted. The pure in heart are the only ones who can know what it means to be supremely happy. Their hearts are pure toward God, and as a result are pure toward fellow men. They are happy because in possessing Him who is all and in all, they envy no man's worldly goods. They are happy because they envy not another man's praise. Because they are the enemy of no man, they regard no man as their enemy. The result is peace with God and with the world. So, as we know from Proverbs, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. For as Jesus said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
We're going to do one more song for you in Spanish, and this is Lead Me to the Cross. So, hope you enjoy it.
Señor, aquí estoy, mi alma tranquila, recuerdo, diste tu sangre por mi redención, por mi vida, todo lo que me importaba ya no me importa más. Guíame a la cruz, lléname de amor. Sobre mis rodillas me postro a tus pies. Líbrame de mí, pertenezco a ti, mi Cristo. Guíame a la cruz. Tú como yo, tentado y probado, humano, de verbo a carne, cargó mi muerte y pecado. Estás vivo. Todo lo que me importaba ya no me importa más. Guíame a la cruz, lléname de amor. Sobre mis rodillas me postro a tus pies. Líbrame de mí, pertenezco a ti, mi Cristo. Guíame a la cruz. A tu corazón, a tu corazón. Guíame a tu corazón, guíame a tu corazón, guíame a la cruz, lléname de amor. Sobre mis rodillas me postro a tus pies. Líbrame de mí, pertenezco a ti, mi Cristo. Guíame a la cruz.
I think if you notice, you've seen the gospel presented 3 different ways, at least tonight. You've seen it in the magic trick, in the skit, in John's preaching. That's what we did all week long, was we gave the gospel day in, day out, as much as we could to whomever we could. And just roughly guessing, it was probably somewhere a little over 1,000 between the number of kids we saw and the number of people that we saw in the medical clinic that we got to share the gospel with. And so that's just a wonderful thing. In 1 week, we were able to share the gospel with over 1,000 people. And that's something that you don't get the opportunity every day. You don't get the opportunity every day here in America. And so it was a wonderful trip. We had absolutely a wonderful team, a team that was flexible, that worked hard the whole time, that gave everything they could to make sure that this went successful. And I hope that you realize that. And I hope that maybe you saw something that you might say, hey, maybe I should go next year. Maybe I should go back next year. Maybe I've been before. Maybe I want to go back. But we can put you to work. And I know that you all know that. South Harriman knows that better than anybody else. But we can definitely find something for you to do in Guatemala. And so I just want to encourage you to maybe think about that in the future. There's always an opportunity to go down there. It was just a pleasure to work with everyone here, and I really appreciate all their hard work. That's all that we have, and I appreciate you all sitting here with us and hearing all of the testimonies and everything that was said and singing along with us. I appreciate that. I'm going to pray for us, and then we'll be dismissed. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunities that you've given us to go down to Guatemala, to spread your light, Lord, to spread your fame and let others know about you and your saving grace. We thank you for your Son and what he did for us and the freedom that he gave us to go and tell others about him, Lord. I pray that we would not stop doing that now that we are back, that would be a focus of our life, Lord, that we would spread your light into the darkest parts of Roane County and the darkest parts of Tennessee, Lord, that we would not just stop in Guatemala, Lord. I thank you for this church body, for sending us out with prayers, with money, with loving hearts, with supplies, Lord. We could not do it without this loving body, and I thank you for that. I pray that you would just keep us all safe as we leave this place and give us a week that's focused on you. These things I pray in your name. Amen.